Okay, wait. No, this is not what it looks like, I swear. I've noticed that most of you by now have read the words college applications in the title of this talk. You may be debating if it's too late to quietly sneak out, or maybe some of you got that gentle nudge from your parents to sit up straight and pay attention. Well, don't worry. This is not a PowerPoint on the one extracurricular you need to get into your dream school. Nor am I the adult who already went to a top-tier university and now has a hindsight bias to insist that you shouldn't worry about college admissions because no one cares about where you went to college in the real world. Nor am I the senior who didn't get into a top-tier university and is now going to compensate by absolutely bashing the admissions process as a whole. I am a junior in high school, and with the small window of time I have where I can be free of the biases previously mentioned, for once, I want to shift our focus away from what to do for or make of college admissions and talk about the process of preparing itself. Within the high school storm of AP courses and SATs, the years that others warned me would be one of the most stressful periods of my life, I've actually found myself enjoying my time more than ever. I'll just go ahead and say it. I am falling in love with the college application process. Okay, I see someone holding a sign saying blink twice if you need help. No, I really feel this way. I know it may sound strange, so let me elaborate. I remember as an 8th grader the stressful time in my house when my older brother was working on his college essays. Naturally, I started to wonder how I would answer those essay prompts about significant moments I had in life or how I have impacted my community. So early on, I pondered on those typical essay subjects, like sports injuries I had endured or family health complications, and I would try to retrospectively analyze how those events have played into who I am today. Or perhaps how I should let them play into the person I aspire to become. I marveled at how these essay prompts can allow us to build wisdom and maturity. But it didn't end there. Thanks to the new wave of college counselors on social media platforms that took over my For You page, I came across these viral stories about successful college essays that didn't revolve around dramatic life events, but rather the most ordinary. Take Costco samples and how they can represent one's intellectual curiosity to try new things, or using your laptop collage of stickers to explain different parts of your identity. So I started analyzing every moment of my life as I lived it, in hopes of not missing out on my ordinary thing. Like the times I would visit a Hindu temple and pay attention to the practice of removing shoes before entering sacred spaces, I realized that I could tie this to my interest in sports engineering. Just by analyzing all the different sneakers in the shoe cubbies, I could keep up with the trends of the shoes people wore, and take note of the shoes I hadn't seen before, to research all their tech features when I got back home. Now, was this excessive? Sure. A bit superficial? Maybe. But constantly trying to turn every moment into a clever, witty hook allowed me to look for, develop, and engage with my passions in times or spaces where I would have never otherwise done. And with repetitively engaging in deep thinking of trying to fit the big, small, great, and especially not so great events in my life into a larger story, the self-discovery and maturity I gained was phenomenal. The essay section was the first demonstration to me that the components of the college application process simply provide high school students with a blueprint for self-growth. These essays do more than assess who you are. They push you to grow. They can transform a victim narrative of tragic loss into one of empowerment and passionate aspirations, or a once-bred insecurity into a journey of progress and self-love. When it came to the community service section, the intrinsic merit was just as consistent. I avoided the program suggested to me for easy hours where you would just clock in, go with the motions, and clock out. I found an organization of interest myself and started volunteering frequently, often staying beyond my hours to talk with the administrative faculty and learn about the actual social injustices that their operations aim to address. So with each summer I returned, I picked up more responsibilities in new departments and eventually got the opportunity to carry out my own initiative of opening their sports camps to kids with intellectual differences. With all the managerial skills and injustice awareness I grew, I was proud of the growth I achieved. All I could think about was how I could have very easily missed out. How if we treat things like extracurriculars or community service as a requirement to graduate or a bullet point on our resume, they become things to acquire instead of avenues to pursue. These standards or requirements can quickly turn into limits on our potential. The garden we build of skills and insights will never thrive if every time a flower blooms, we cut it, just to go show someone else that we are, in fact, a gardener. From there on, I caught myself saying a powerful statement in my head whenever I tried to do something for my resume. Even if college applications weren't a thing, I would still do blank. Even if there were no applications and you didn't need a letter of recommendation, you probably shouldn't be someone that your teachers despise anyways. Because it's inherently rewarding to try building a relationship with them. Or even with grades, I started to see how it's less about the grades assigned to us and more about building the work ethic and drive to take on challenges presented to you as a teenager. It's common to hear students in math classes ask, when am I ever going to use this again in real life? And sure, you may never see that math problem ever again. But you will come across other problems in life, where the methods, tools, and tactics you developed will become immensely valuable. Think about this. The mind that could develop something as complex as calculus was the same mind who could use those critical thinking skills to look at an apple and develop theories about orbital motion. For those of you who don't know, this mind belonged to Isaac Newton. Now, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and imagine 438 circles, with each circle signifying 80 hours. Okay, I'm kidding. Don't worry. I made a visual for all of you. This is how much time we have between 14 and 18 years of age. Now, most of you are probably looking at the empty circles, thinking about how little time you have. Mainly because we've been trained to see school as a necessary evil, not an opportunity. It's common in our society to hear the phrase, it's either 4 years of suffering for 50 years of freedom, or 4 years of freedom for 50 years of suffering. But why do we accept this narrative in the first place? What exactly is the sacrifice? I mean, we get 58 whole circles, 4,640 hours dedicated to spending time in a learning environment built to challenge and shape us. And with this, can it not be as simple to say that we spend so much time in school, 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock for 720 days, that we just might as well try to get good at it? Because really, what's the alternative to not setting goals and working towards them in our adolescence? Is it a sacrifice to take that harder AP class at the risk of a lower grade? Or would the real sacrifice be staying safe and never truly applying yourself? I think we've all heard that one butterfly quote when it comes to chasing our goals. If you want to catch a butterfly, don't chase it because it will run away. Instead, build a garden to attract the butterfly. But what I'm trying to add here today is that even if you don't catch that butterfly, you still have your garden. The first mistake we're already making is by accepting how it's called the butterfly quote rather than the garden quote. And that mistake is the root of all the anxiety we face in high school as we go about the application process. If we understood that the garden we built, your self-growth, was the real goal, anxieties like academic validation or competition would fade away. I mean, we all have that one friend, right, that's doing 1,000 extracurriculars, gets good grades, and still has time to do those things that our parents don't know about when comparing us both. But we shouldn't feel any pressure to catch up or one-up them, because we understand that the work we're putting in is not going to go against someone else, but rather define yourself as a human being. And look, I get it. Those lingering thoughts of working so hard in high school just to get rejected from your dream colleges are stressful. And those thoughts are going to continue to surface throughout our lives. What if after all that hard work, you lose that competition? That relationship ends, or that startup you created fails? But why not apply ourselves regardless of the success that we will have with admissions? Work to become the best version of yourself, and just like college acceptances or any other external sources of validation in life, to be a pro or side effect of simply being that best self. Not everything is an exact science to your self-worth. That bad hair day that your crush saw you with, the tryout where you kept cramping, or that college rejection you received because of geographical representation. You're not left with nothing when rejected. Those setbacks don't cancel out all the late nights, the work ethic you developed, skills you learned, or insights that you gained along the way. If you don't catch that butterfly, you still have your garden. Rejection only leaves you with nothing if you chased the butterfly. Thank you.